A police chase, gunfire, and a manhunt that led officers to shut down a Southeast Portland golf course. We're going to break down the string of events that began early this morning in Milwaukee and more on the suspect who's still on the loose. Plus,
this is the Portland Police Bureau. We have a search warrant.
That is Portland Police serving a search warrant connected to a bomb threat last weekend on I-5. The suspect is set to appear in court this afternoon. Also coming up.
Part of what makes it so scary, like that could have been me, that could have been the next door neighbor, that could have been any of us.
Neighbors in North Portland reacting to a fellow homeowner shooting a man accused of breaking into his home. And we'll also make some time for good news this afternoon. Check out this crowd at this North Portland bakery, why their sweet treats had them lining up down the street. Coming up later this half hour on KGW News at noon. Thanks for joining us here at noon. I'm Drew Carney. We do have a lot to get to, but we start with that guy right there, Rod Hill in the Weather Center. Rod, you've got a weather impact alert that covers both today and tomorrow.
We do, and one of the reasons, in fact, the primary reason for the impact alert today, beyond the showers returning, is a storm threat that we believe would materialize this afternoon, and we have it. So let me show you what's going on. First off, look at the scattered showers. I realize if you're watching us from downtown Portland, there hasn't been much rain in the city, but you can see the bright colors scattered about. And in fact, in the last 15 minutes, lightning strikes have been detected just off to the east of Salem. Now, here's a closer look. So the storm's right here now hitting Silverton. You're getting some heavy rain, and this is continuing to push off to the east. Mount Angel getting wet. They're Staten with some heavy downpours. There may be some small hail detected in these rain areas as well. Right now, it doesn't look like it's currently producing lightning, but that is a taste of what any of us could have as we progress through the afternoon hours. So our KGW weather impact alert now in effect through Saturday afternoon. And the big concern today is those spotty downpours, thunderstorms. Again, when you hear thunder, you need to get inside and take shelter. Hail also a possibility. Tomorrow, not a storm threat, but a prolonged period of steady rain. And we'll time that out for you coming up in my complete forecast. Some live cameras. That was Lincoln City Chinook Winds Casino Resort. There, of course, Salem, where we've had that band of heavier rain showers move through the city. Looks like, I think there's big ship there. Is that the Portland Spirit? I can't tell. Coming through downtown Portland right now with some breaks in the cloud cover. We're at 59. We're going to maybe just bounce up into the low 60s. Again, thunderstorms have developed in parts of the Willamette Valley. They may come to where you are, so keep an eye to the sky for the remainder of today and also this evening. Drew?
All right, thank you, Rod. Let's get to our continuing coverage here this afternoon as police search for a man accused of shooting at Milwaukee officers during a chase earlier this morning. So police are no longer focusing their search at the Eastmoreland Golf Course in Southeast Portland. But again, the big news this afternoon is that the suspect is still on the run. This all started just before 3 o'clock this morning. That's when Milwaukee police say they were chasing 42-year-old John Franklin, who goes by the alias Looney Tune. No joke. You see him right there in this photo. Police say he was wanted on multiple felony warrants. Investigators say when officers tried to stop him early this morning, he rammed a patrol car, took off again, and fired shots at police. The chase ended when Tune crashed in a construction zone near Southeast 26th Place and Tacoma Street, then ran into the Eastmoreland Golf Course. Portland police set up a perimeter and spent hours searching through the course, as well as nearby parks and some local trails, but there was no sign of the suspect.
We'll continue to search the area and collect tips for other evidence along the route. Try to get some more information about Mr. Tune, maybe from some his associates and things like that.
If you see Looney Tune or know where he may be, police say do not make contact with him. Simply call 911. Meanwhile, the man suspected of leaving a homemade bomb near I-5 last weekend is expected to appear in court at 2 o'clock today. He was taken into custody yesterday in Northeast Portland. KGW's Catherine Cook talked to neighbors who saw the arrest.
This is the Portland Police Bureau. We have a search warrant.
Loud hails by Portland police cut through midday calm Thursday afternoon near Northeast 15th and Wygant.
Come out of the front door now with your hands above your head.
My mind was racing of what is happening.
Neighbor Megan Sutton took this video. It shows Portland's CERT team with guns drawn before taking one man into custody. The bomb squad was also there, and the FBI.
We're like, what's going on? Is this an ICE raid? Is this federal? We had no clue.
Police were serving a search warrant connected to a disturbance involving an explosive device on I-5 Saturday night. Police say 38-year-old Alexander Wick was at the Failing Street pedestrian bridge throwing several items into traffic, including construction cones. Police shared this image of Wick captured by a dash cam. As drivers stopped, police say Wick slashed their tires, threatened them with a screwdriver, and said he had a bomb, which he left along I-5 before leaving the scene. Police shut down I-5 for nearly an hour while the bomb squad disabled the improvised explosive device.
I had no clue. We all were dumbfounded when the situation came by. I walk past the house all the time. I've never seen any suspicious activity.
A Portland fire investigator ID'd Wick, which led officers to the house Thursday. Wick was booked on several charges, including possession of a destructive device, first-degree criminal mischief, and attempted arson.
And I was like, oh my God, that was gunfire. So I sat there for a moment or two thinking, do I need to call the police?
Neighbors in North Portland are reacting after a fellow homeowner shot an intruder who's accused of kicking in the man's front door in the middle of the night. The suspect, 35-year-old Austin Mason Jones, faces a first-degree burglary charge. So this all happened just before 1:30 early yesterday morning on North Baldwin Street. The homeowner says the suspect was banging on his door for about 10 minutes. He says he told the man that he was armed, and when the intruder eventually broke in, the homeowner fired 4 shots.
Rightfully so. That's ridiculous. So it's terrifying all the way around.
Speaking generally, what we ask people to do is similar to what we see here, where if someone is trying to break into your home, certainly people have a right to defend themselves and defend their homes.
Police have not charged the homeowner for the shooting. The suspect, meanwhile, is in the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. We're hearing more from the lawyer of a Colombian asylum seeker who was taken into custody this week after an immigration hearing. ICE officers detained him right after he left the courthouse in downtown Portland. A witness captured the arrest on their cell phone and shared it with us. Here's KGW's Celine Stevens with more.
It is devastating to watch this unfold in my city.
This video, taken by Tristan Edwards Wednesday morning, shows a man being taken away from his car in downtown Portland and moved into a black SUV by Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents. Edwards and her husband, Grant Hartley, who are both attorneys, were arriving to work when they came across this scene.
I walked around and I saw that his badge said ICE on it, and so I immediately got my phone out and started recording the interaction.
According to court documents, the man detained, identified as EATB, is from Colombia and is seeking asylum. His attorney, Yesenia Martinez, who was the woman seen in the video, says he had just appeared in immigration court with his mother when soon after leaving, he was pulled over.
I didn't think he would necessarily be detained in the manner that he was detained, and I thought that after the case was going to continue that he wasn't necessarily at risk for being detained because he had been following all his requirements.
Hartley and Edwards watching it all unfold from the sidewalk.
I think it's a very helpless feeling when you're an advocate for somebody and your job is to defend their rights and you see those rights being violated, but there's very little you can do because these are federal officers.
You can imagine that for anybody who is an immigrant right now, I am sure it is a terrifying time to even be alive.
Martinez says an agent claimed her client had missed a check-in.
I said, no, he hasn't, because those are things that I monitor with my clients to make sure that they're complying with all of the requirements to not be detained. I showed them the phone, and then their story changed. Well, he's an enforcement priority.
I reached out to ICE to find out more about the specifics related to EATB's case, but I have not yet heard back. Martinez says that she was not allowed to see her client at the Portland ICE facility on Wednesday and that he's now being held in a detention center in Tacoma. In downtown Portland, Celine Stevens, KGW News.